It started as a joke, or at least that's what I told myself. I was lounging on the couch, scrolling through my phone, while my husband, Alex, sat across from me, reading a book. I caught myself smiling at a message from my guy best friend, Jason, one of those harmless, flirty exchanges that had existed between us for years. I knew Alex was watching, his eyes flicking toward my screen, and a mischievous idea crossed my mind. "What do you think?" I said, leaning back with exaggerated casualness, "if Jason had been here tonight instead of you?" I let my tone drip with playful flirtation, just enough to tease but not enough to actually cause trouble, or so I thought. Alex didn't look up immediately. He kept reading, his finger tracing the line on the page as if nothing had happened. I rolled my eyes, expecting him to snap, to make some jealous comment, maybe even give me the cold shoulder for a few hours. I was half expecting a dramatic sigh or an eye roll so big it would have been visible from across the room. Instead, he calmly put the book down and looked at me, his gaze soft but steady. "Why would I care if Jason was here?" he asked. His voice was calm, almost amused. I blinked. That wasn't the reaction I'd anticipated. My smirk faltered. "Well, I mean, you know, he's funny, attractive, he's a lot of fun to be around," I stammered, trying to play it off, but now I felt a twinge of something I hadn't expected, nervousness. Alex leaned forward slightly, resting his elbows on his knees, still looking at me with that serene, unnervingly calm expression. "You're funny too," he said simply. "I married you, not Jason." I laughed, nervously, because the simplicity of his answer caught me off guard. It wasn't defensive. It wasn't jealous. It was confident. Secure. I tilted my head, trying to find some flaw in his response, some sign of the irritation or discomfort I was sure he must feel. But there was nothing. "So, you're not even a little jealous?" I asked, trying to prod, teasing further. He smiled faintly, a little amused, and shook his head. "No. I trust you. And I trust our marriage." I froze. The words hit me harder than I expected. Trust. Marriage. Not even a trace of doubt in his voice. I had spent weeks, maybe months, joking with friends about how Alex was so easily jealous or how I loved to push his buttons, and yet here he was, completely unshaken. I leaned closer, curiosity mixed with a strange admiration. "Even though I just said I might like him around more?" "Even that," he said. "Because joking or not, you've never given me a reason not to trust you." And honestly, he paused, and I noticed a faint warmth in his smile. "I'm kind of proud of the friendship you have. It says a lot about you, your loyalty, your honesty, your ability to connect with people. That's part of why I love you." I blinked, speechless. Part of me wanted to burst into laughter, partly out of relief, partly out of disbelief. The teasing that had felt so powerful in my mind now seemed trivial, almost childish. His reaction wasn't dramatic, it wasn't fiery, it was thoughtful, steady, and filled with a quiet strength I hadn't fully appreciated before. "Wow," I whispered. "I didn't expect that." He shrugged, casual as ever, but his eyes never wavered. "You don't always need to provoke me to see my reaction, you know." There was a light teasing tone now, but it lacked the defensiveness I expected. It was more like he was sharing a truth I hadn't realized I needed to hear. I felt a strange shift inside me. The playful game I had started suddenly seemed unnecessary, even a little foolish. Here I was, thinking I could provoke a reaction, manipulate emotions for fun, and he had simply stayed grounded. Calm. Confident. Unshakable. "I think I might have underestimated you," I admitted, laughing softly, a little embarrassed by my own antics. He smiled, reaching over to take my hand. "Or maybe you just needed to see it for yourself. Sometimes we test people not because we don't trust them, but because we want to know how secure they are in themselves, and in us." I felt my cheeks flush. He had taken my teasing, my little game, and turned it into a lesson, gentle but undeniable. I realized then how little I had appreciated the depth of his calmness, his ability to see through my antics and respond with thoughtfulness instead of anger. "So, I guess you really don't mind me joking about Jason?" I asked, trying to lighten the tension, though now my teasing had a hint of respect in it. He laughed quietly. "Not at all. But maybe don't push your luck too often," he said, winking. "Because while I'm calm, I also have a long memory." I laughed with him, the tension dissolving into warmth. It was a moment of clarity I hadn't expected. My teasing, which had started as a light flirtation, had turned into a revelation. I realized that Alex's strength wasn't in dramatic gestures, angry words, or fiery jealousy. It was in his calm confidence, his unwavering trust, and his ability to make me see my own behavior more clearly. That night, as we curled up together on the couch, my phone forgotten beside me, I felt a deep sense of gratitude. Not just for the way he handled the moment, but for the way he had quietly taught me something important, that trust, respect, and confidence could be more powerful than any dramatic display of emotion. And as I drifted off to sleep, I thought about Jason, about my little joke, and about my husband, the man whose reaction had left me completely speechless, in the best way possible. It wasn't the laughter or the jealousy that had struck me, it was the calm, quiet strength of a love that didn't need to prove itself with theatrics. It simply existed, steady and unshakable, and suddenly, I wanted to be better, not for him, but for us.